it's Rhea. Wherever you are and whatever time it is, I hope you are enjoying yourself. So, this week's video, as you can see, I will be showing you two time lapses based off of screen caps from an anime called Shikimori-san is Not Just a Cutie. I've always wanted to do Screencap Redraws, and I haven't done one in a long time. I think the only one I've done really is like that really popular Sailor Moon one that everyone has done, so yeah, I wanted to start doing more of those, and I feel like somehow this just ended up being like the first series that I like jumped into for screen caps. Well, actually, I've previously saved several different screen caps. I just never got around to drawing them. But for some reason, I guess like this anime, or specifically the two scenes that I'm drawing, I saw them and I was like, oh my gosh, I totally want to redraw that. And it's really fun to do stuff like this because it's a nice takeaway from drawing like regular things, if that makes sense, like my usual projects or studies and stuff like that. It's like a fun thing to work on because it's already like the concept in drawing is already there. I'm just recreating it, but because I'm recreating it in my own style, I get to have fun with however I want to portray the screen cap. So also, I'll go ahead and put up the screen cap right here. That way there's like at least some reference, and I may show it at the end of the drawing as well, just so that way you can like compare the two. Obviously it's not going to look the exact same considering this is like the first time I've done this in a while, and I'm mostly like, I'm trying to focus more on like the fun of doing it rather than trying to get it exactly accurate. It's the same thing with like when you do a draw this in your style. It's like the point isn't necessarily to copy the exact same thing. It's just to like draw it in your style. So that can mean like lots of different things. And I think I had a lot of fun with this. Also, just like the scene in general to me is so funny. Like both of the screen caps that I draw in this video are from the same episode. And it's basically, I don't want to like fully spoil or anything because I definitely encourage you guys to watch the anime if you haven't. It's like a really cute, short slice of life. We can get into that later, but basically in this episode, these three hang out, Shikimori-san, Nekozaki, and Kamiya, and it's just so cute because the blue-haired girl, Kamiya, is like not really... It's like, even though she's very popular and beautiful and stuff like that, no one really approaches her. They kind of figure that she's like she has like her own lone wolf thing going on, but these two hang out with her after her making like a appearance in earlier episodes anyways. But they hang out and it's like really cute and precious, and there's a part where they like take a photo together. You know how you like do the little photo booth thing when you're out with your friends? And it was like this really silly result of them looking very like, I don't know, I'm sure there's like a word for it in Japanese, but like I can't think of it right now. But it's like how it has like the flowers and like the sparkles around it. It's super funny to me. And so I was like, I have to redraw that. On terms of the process for this, I don't know if anyone saw at the beginning, but whenever I was sketching, I sketched like, so I started out attempting to trace very vaguely where all the head shapes would be in like a brief pose. And then I was like, well, should I do that, or is that kind of like cheating, quote unquote? Because, you know, the hot tracing debate, am I right? And I'll get into that in a second, but basically I ended up not doing it for this first one, but I did it for the second one. So in this first drawing of this screen cap, I ended up just eyeballing it, so looking at the reference and like using the screen cap as a reference and then like going from there. So I'm like, okay, this is like where I'm assuming the heads are, this is like how close everything is, the pose and everything like that. And oddly enough, even though this one I had eyeballed and then the second one I had pretty much did like a very brief trace around everyone's like heads and bodies, you'll see it, but I think this one ended up coming out more accurate. So I thought that was interesting. But that could also be because this one is a little less dynamic and there's a little, there's a smaller amount of people in this drawing. But yeah, but to go back to the discussion of like quote unquote cheating and tracing, I feel like it depends a lot on what your intentions are and how you execute the tracing. So, and let me know if you guys want me to like make a video about this and sort of make it into one of those podcasty type videos like I did with the well, I haven't done like a art debate one yet so far. I've only done one about like being a black artist and also college and stuff like that, art school stuff. But in regards to tracing and all of this, I think that because in the second one, you'll see, but because I did like shapes, general shapes and stuff, and also because I'm not trying to profit off this in any way, it's just an exercise for fun, and it's an exercise where it's like I want to see a screen cap in my style. It doesn't really mean that much to me on terms of like, oh, is that cheating? I don't think it is. I think it's like, I did it for the ease of convenience and making sure I knew like where everyone was remotely staged. That way it wouldn't be a nuisance to try to look at and calculate exactly like, oh, this person's here, this person's there, just with my own eyes. Now, I could have still done that, but I feel like doing it for the sake of, you know, to prove to people, oh yes, I did this solely without tracing anything at all, I'm such a real artist. It's like, what is the point of me doing that whenever I'm not saying that I even created this entire concept myself? This is literally a screen cap redraw, so the point is for me to be able to get it done in a way that's like the simplest way for me to do it, but still in a way where I can execute my own style and things like that. It's similar to people who use brushes for like certain assets instead of drawing it out themselves. It's like, that doesn't make you a cheater, or it doesn't make you like a fake artist. I think it's just for the ease of convenience. There definitely are times where it's like, yes, you should make sure that you're like upholding the process all the way through, and you don't always want to rely on these types of methods, but I think depending on the purpose, like if it's just an exercise or something, then by all means do what is going to be easier for you instead of trying to prove like how authentic you are all the time. It's like, you can see that in other works for things that are just for your own agenda, like you shouldn't have to stress yourself out about it, if that makes sense. So, I mean, it doesn't really make much of a difference to me. There might be times where I do it like this, where I just eyeball it, and there might be times where I do it like the second one, where I like, you know, if there's a lot more going on, then I might try to get a brief outline of like everyone. And the fact that I do it in shapes, I think it's like, eh. If I was doing it like almost verbatim, or like almost where it's like a literal outline of the whole thing, then yeah, that's genuinely tracing it. And that's a little bit different. But I think in this sense it makes it okay, and I'm not too worried about it. Oh gosh, well, because I talked so much about tracing and all of that, everything else, let's see, what can I say? Kamiya, the girl on the left, the blue hair, I wish I could have drawn her better. I'm not one for side profiles, so I really was doing my best, but I think Shikimori-san, the pink-haired girl, turned out like the best. Probably because she's the main character, but yeah, I don't know. But I think overall it was pretty interesting. Like, it's interesting because I feel like I don't always draw an anime style, or I don't always draw with the intention of drawing in an anime style, so it's cool to like do these screen cap redraws and sort of see what my style would look like if I really tried to aim for that a little bit more. But yeah, and then the ending, because I didn't have any type of like rose brushes, I just did improv. And this is how it turned out, so yeah. Once again, I do feel like Shikimori-san definitely came out the best. I wish I could have captured more of like the dynamic poses in the original, but I'll give myself some effort points. So now we are at the second screen cap, and I'll go ahead and put it up here. But yeah, so you can see pretty much how I did like the tracing over it. It's not like super in-depth and everything. It's like, it's mostly just trying to get their figurines, not their figurines, their figures. My anime brain, please help. I'm mostly trying to get like their figures situated, and then I go ahead and just take off that layer, or like I blur it out, and then I just use my sketch, and then also the original photo, I have it pinned as like the little reference how you can do in Procreate. But yeah, and I felt like that definitely helped, and yet it still wasn't me like fully trying to get the exact, I wasn't tracing the exact everything. Because then at that point, then is it even really that helpful to you? Or is it literally just copying? So, I mean, I hope that wasn't like completely controversial to what I just said, but hopefully that makes sense. Oh, man, this is like the one like redraw or like time lapse that it probably would have been helpful to like record the actual footage of me in the program like I do, but I don't know, sometimes it's just easier to throw in the time lapse as a video, so maybe I'll do like a poll one day and you guys can just decide the fate of future videos, whether if I'm gonna do like the time lapse or film like the actual recording, like the screen recording of when I'm working in it. But actually, I did do some of this on stream too, so if you want to go check that out. No. But yeah, I think I streamed like a little bit of the first one and a little bit of the second one, and so you could see the process there kind of. But I think that was like way after I did like the beginning, like the sketching part of it. But nevertheless, I think this drawing was also fun to do. It was a little chaotic because once again drawing 5 people and then also drawing like a good chunk of their bodies in here as well. It was pretty, it was quite the drawing, but I think it was really fun. I do feel like there's a lot of things that I could have done better. And even in the original drawing, like, I would look at it to like try to understand. Like I said, I had it pinned as the reference. I don't know, hopefully you guys know what I'm talking about, but in Procreate you can add in the photo where it says a reference, and that way you can like sort of look at your reference while you're drawing it. And so I was doing that, but the original photo, I feel like there's moments where, like, there's parts in it where you can't really tell what's going on. Or like I feel like it could be a little bit more clearer, but nevertheless, I think I survived somewhat okay. And then like whenever I got a little too like, oh, this doesn't look right, or oh, this could be so much better, I like just tried to remind myself that it's a Screencap redraw, and it's also my first one that I've done in a while, so there's no point in me like putting so much pressure on myself for it. Like, it's okay if everything isn't like super perfect. That's what like individual like illustrations that I work on are for. You know, it's like you don't always have to be like super nitpicky about like every little thing. It's okay to just have fun and enjoy stuff, and that's what I tried to do here. I really like this scene because it's like they meet these other 2 girls. Once again, this is in the same episode, so they meet the other 2 girls and they like it's like they're at a basketball court or something. Once again, I'm not gonna try to spoil everything, so definitely watch it. It's so cute. And like I think I saw the last episode yesterday, and it was just so, oh my god, I think I cried a little bit. If you don't know what this anime is about, it's basically like the pink-haired girl has a boyfriend, and her boyfriend is very like unlucky. Like, he just happens to accumulate all the bad luck. He's like constantly like running late for school because he like almost got hit by a bus or something flew and almost hit him. And so he just always deals with like these natural misfortunes that happen to him. And his girlfriend is usually like very protective of him and things like that. And she has this essence that's associated with like usually like a stereotypical guy role, if that makes sense. I know we're at a point where it's like gender and like that kind of stuff is just kind of going away, and rightfully so, because to be honest, none of it ever really made enough sense to begin with. But that being said, in this anime, Shikimori-san, the pink-haired girl, even though she's like the girl in the relationship, she's very like she has moments where she's cute, right? But she also has moments where she's like super cool and like steals everybody's heart. You're just like, oh my god, how is she so like cool and like teasing and playful and like dapper, and she just does it all basically. And then Izumi, her boyfriend, is like very shy, timid, or not necessarily. He's a good boy. you know, he's doing his best, but he gets like, he worries a lot because of his misfortune, and he's like, you want to look after him, you want to take care of him basically. And so their dynamic is like super amazing and fun. And they actually, like, looking at them, they kind of remind me of Aubrey and Amori, or Aubrey and Sunny, from, if you guys have ever played Amori or seen anything about it, like the characters, they remind me of those two so much. Like, not entirely, but especially like visually it helps. And so I was like, oh my god, that's so cute. I kind of want to draw like a crossover of that. That would be super adorable. But yeah, it's like a really cute anime. And like even outside of like the romance stuff, because sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't want to just make myself feel sad and lonely. It does a nice balance of like bringing everybody into the anime. So like it's very involved with like their friends and like the events that happen. It's just that the heartthrob moments that happen, it's just so good. It's so amazing. Oh, and another thing that I like about this being like a romance anime is there's no like super annoying miscommunication plot or like really dumb stuff happening to break them up and get them back together and break them up. It's like there isn't really that. It's just them having a good time, showing their cute dynamic, showing them with friends and all of that. It's so cute, and it kind of reminds me of My Love Story, where it's like there isn't any huge plot going on around their relationship. It's just, hey, we're cute, we're fun, let's get it. So I definitely recommend it. It's really fun to watch, especially if you need just something to take your mind off stuff. I know nowadays, like since I'm even past college now, it feels hard to relate to like slice of life usually, but this is like, I don't know, it's just very feel good, and also the art style is amazing. Like the opening itself is so good. Oh my god, I wonder, like, all the anime openings these days have like really stepped up. Like, I'm not talking just like musically it's a bop, I'm saying like the visuals and everything, it's just so good. So yeah, watch it and let me know how you liked it, or if you have watched it, let me know how you feel about it after watching it. But yeah, it looks like the screen cap is getting a little bit closer to finished, and you can see that I did the background too. Look at me, crazy. Originally I wasn't going to, but I was like, let me just try it out anyway. And like this is a little bit more cropped than the original to begin with, because the original was like, I would have had to draw the girl at the bottom shoes, and I was not trying to do that. But with that being said, I think even just me drawing the background, it looked kind of cool. I tried out some brushes in Procreate that I didn't really use before to try to get like the natural look at the trees, and it wasn't perfect, but I think overall though it was like a nice attempt. And then at the very end I try to play with like the framing and also like a filter look, that way it looks kind of like an Instagram post or like an old film. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It was really fun and I enjoyed it, and I hope to do many more of these in the future. Let me know if you guys have any recommendations, but that's all for me this time. So thank you so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed your time here today, please feel free to leave a like. If you're interested to see more of my content, you can always check out my other videos and subscribe. I'm actually almost halfway to 100 subscribers, and then I can make a Meet the Artist video. For reference, if you're new, I'm Rhea or Etheria, and I like making art and art-related content on my channel. I try to post weekly videos, but feel free to catch me on my other social media linked in the description and also at the end of the video. Primarily, I've been streaming on Twitch, and I'm also active on Twitter. So once again, thank you so much for watching, and I wish you a nice rest of your time zone and week. Take care!